Siomra Beag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the podcast that takes a pop at culture.
Sure look, sure listen. Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen. Very good, Benjamin. Benjamin, are you recording on your Tula mic? Oh, very good, Benjamin. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the bi-weekly comic book every week podcast. Benjamin, we're recording a little bit early this week. We're on Saturday morning.
1st of October, Michael. Happy Spookoween.
Happy Spookoween, Benjamin. It's not that I'm going through some difficulties and we're recording early for that. It's that we're too excited about the start of October and we said, let's get the podcast in early.
We couldn't resist, Michael. Couldn't resist
the spooky season, Benjamin. Benjamin.
Yes.
Speaking of the spooky season, sure look, I've forgotten the conceit, Ben. Sure look, Ben. We don't have time for any of that because we have to look at, Ben, the teaming up the two second most popular characters in the Marvel Universe. We're also having a look at Armour Wars, Benjamin. Is it a movie? Is it a film? Is it the Inhumans? We're also having a look at two spooky Halloween bloody anthologies on Netflix, the home of spooky Halloween anthologies. We're having a look at the next episode of your favourite show, She-Hulk. And the two of us have seen one and or two episodes of Andor.
Very clever, Michael. Sure, listen, if that wasn't enough, and it really isn't for a Spookoween weekly pop culture podcast, Michael, we're also going to be taking a look. We're kicking off Spookoween this year, Michael. For anyone who's been with us before, they'll know we do a little monthly special here of horror-based topics for our Spookoweens. And I say it's a tradition, Michael, but it isn't. We started it last year, and now we're doing it again this year.
That makes it a tradition, Ben.
It makes it a tradition now. It wasn't, though. But, Michael, we're going to be taking a look at the dream zombie apocalypse. Now, Michael, you've seen lists before where it's like, which apocalypse are you likely to survive in? But, Michael, we're doing the dream apocalypse. Which one's going to give you your best life in the apocalypse? Which one's going to fulfill all your dreams, Michael?
Oh, I can't wait.
That's what we're going to take a look at.
Oh, very good, very exciting. Benjamin.
Very good. Yeah.
I tell you what. So here's what's happened.
Go on.
Marvel have said, Ryan Reynolds, please, we are just getting absolute shit canned here. You, for some reason, are bulletproof. What can you do for us to get the neckbeards back on side?
And Michael, the answer is to piss all over James Mangold's achievement and bring back a beloved character.
Benjamin, everyone's always bringing back beloved characters. All they have to do is set it in the timeline before Logan.
Yeah, that's all that has to be done there, Michael.
That's all they're going to do. Because if you remember, Ben, Logan was set in the future.
It was, Michael. That's the clever thing. They gave themselves some rope.
They gave themselves a bit of rope to dangle and to go, oh, we've got a bit of rope. So Logan is in the future, Ben. Logan was in 2029, I think.
I couldn't tell you, Michael. I could also say, Michael.
Go on.
You could also say multiverse.
Oh, there's probably going to be there has to be a multiverse, doesn't there, Ben? Because he's not in the regular CU.
Get out of here. He's not in the regular CU.
He's not in the main CU as it was, Ben.
Bloody see you next Tuesday, Michael.
Oh, very good. I don't know if you can say that. That's very mean. Is the film coming out next Tuesday, Ben?
No, I'm going to see you next Tuesday, Michael.
Oh, for our other
collecting
podcast,
issues, the bi-weekly comic book club. What did you think I meant?
I thought you were calling me a cunt.
All right.
Benjamin, what are we going to do about... Is this going to be a Deadpool film or is it going to be a Wolverine film?
It's going to be a Deadpool film, Michael. It's going to be a Deadpool film and it's going to have Wolverine in it. I think it could be a Wolverine and Deadpool film.
Oh, I hope it's called Wolverine and Deadpool, not Deadpool and Wolverine.
I also wonder, Michael, if it's going to be a bloody cameo. Are we just going to get a little Hugh Jackman cameo?
It certainly doesn't seem that way, does it?
No, they seem to be billing this as something real special, Michael.
I would say, Benjamin, that they know that Ryan Reynolds and his production team know how to placate fans.
Oh, they do.
And
nobody services fans quite like Ryan.
Yes, Ryan, service those fans, please. Would you please go and service them? They're very angsty. Please, Ryan, they don't like She-Hulk. They don't like Miss Marvel. They don't like Captain Marvel. They didn't even like bloody that last one, Thor. There's too many women in it. Thor, there's too many women in it, I think it was called. So
Yes, that was precisely what it was called.
what can you do for us in terms of getting a very muscular man back on side? And he said, "Oh, I'll get Hugh Jacked man.
I'll get huge jacked man
Look,
back on side.
yeah, it's good. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I think it would have been pant-wettingly exciting if we hadn't already had Professor X and
Yeah.
I think Mountains of Madness or whatever it was called, which is now apparently what I call that film, Mountains of Madness or whatever it was called.
Why not?
Yeah, that has, and to some extent, She-Hulk has taken. They've kind of somewhat taken the wind out of the sails of introducing mutants to the MCU.
Yeah, they just seem to be taking the mick,
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. So who knows how this is going to happen? It was already a big question of how they were going to introduce Deadpool. So
Yeah, how is he going to pop up?
how is he going to even pop up? So now it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
I mean, Deadpool can pop up wherever he wants. Do you know what I mean? He's a fourth wall breaking nut job.
Yeah. I assume, Benjamin, there'll be some sort of throwaway line at the beginning that he walks through a portal or something. He goes, "Oh, well, I'm in a new dimension now."
Yeah.
And then
That's-
that'll
that's
be it.
more like-
That's how much they'll address it.
That'll be how that goes. Yeah, and that'll be fine.
Yeah. And we won't complain. Some people will, but we won't.
One of the interesting ripples that came out of that, Michael, is Robert Downey Jr.,
Oh, I've heard of him, yeah.
famous for playing Titanium Lad.
Yeah.
He sent out a little tweet, Michael,
Oh,
in
what's he
response to
do?
the
What's
trailer,
the
and he
tweet?
said, coming back from the dead, neat trick, might be fun to try.
Oh, fucking hell.
And then he deleted it, Michael,
Oh.
about an hour later.
Oh, very exciting Twitter gossip, Ben. That's some
Isn't
of the
that interesting?
That's some of
Isn't
the
that
most
interesting?
exciting Twitter gossip. I mean,
Isn't that exciting?
wouldn't it be lovely for Robert Downey Jr. after, like, single-handedly, you might as well do a bit of revisionist history, after single-handedly creating the success of the MCU, to now come back and fix it.
Single-handedly launching the success of
Yeah.
the MCU, I don't think.
And then
I think John
single-handedly-
Favreau deserves a lot more credit there.
No. I'm
Marvel would
pretty
care
sure
to
it was
give.
Robert Downey Jr., Ben, who did everything.
I don't think it
The whole
was.
thing was his idea. It was his idea for Stan Lee's parents to have a big sex.
And then make a comic book empire that was failing and then suddenly wasn't.
Yeah. Every step along the way, it was Robert Downey Jr. People said it was Mephisto, but it wasn't. It was Robert Downey Jr.
Real game of chess going on there, Michael.
He's
Real
playing
game
the
of
long
chess.
game, Benjamin. Have you ever heard of the mutant En Sabah Nur?
Yes, Michael.
That's actually Robert Downey Jr. who
Oh,
created-
I see, Michael. Speaking of men in tin suits, Michael.
Very good, yeah.
Come here to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I don't get enough of?
TV series that used to be movies.
Yeah, exactly, Michael. I just feel like the world could use a few more TV series that used to be movies.
Or movies that used to be TV series.
No, I don't want those. Those sound bad.
Oh, no, okay. Benjamin, you're not going to be best pleased then with the news about Marvel's Armour Wars.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be a film now, apparently.
It's going to be a film now, Michael. Why not?
Why fucking
Why
not,
not?
as they say, Ben? Why not?
I feel like
Or
they
why?
missed a beat anyway, where they were introducing, because Marvel is all about the diversity and inclusion these days, Michael. I feel like they missed a beat with we've already got a black Iron Man.
Oh, we forgot it. Oh, we forgot about him. Oh, we
forgot
forgot
about Black
about
Iron
Don
Man.
Cheadle again. Oh, it's when they
And
go on.
arguably, that's a real jip, because Don Cheadle is great.
Yeah. They do every time they go on a press tour and they forget to bring Don Cheadle, and they do a big Kevin from Home Alone and go, "Oh, Don Cheadle, we left him at home."
And then bloody Kevin Feige ends up in the back of a truck with John Candy.
Yes, exactly. Benjamin,
Corpse of John Candy.
I have decided to start the rumour that Terrence Howard is going to be in it. Would you like to join me in starting that rumour? We'll just start it
Yeah,
now.
so Michael, shocking news from our Marvel insider, Michael.
Yeah.
Who we can't name for secrecy reasons.
Yeah, and because he's made
but
up.
apparently, Michael,
Yeah.
it's going to be a multiverse-based biopic
Oh.
where we find out how there were two roadies
Oh,
all
very
along,
good.
and one was replaced by multiverse. Yeah, Doctor Strange is going to be in it.
Oh, very good. Very exciting. The Don Cheadle one's going to turn out to be a Skrull, and the Terrence Howard one is going to be like, how did no one notice?
And then we'll realise that America is systemically racist and that white people can't actually tell black people apart because they're racist.
Oh, it's because they're racist. I thought it was some way related to your female face blindness. But
It's just general face blindness, Michael, but thank you for gendering it.
yeah. Benjamin, look, sure. Listen, if anything, all this proves is that they were the success of the whole thing, and the what they managed to get away with was a unique thing, because it's becoming more and more like DC every day.
It's a bit bloated.
A little bit bloated, Benjamin.
It's a little bit I mean, this was always going to happen, Michael, and I'm aware that we're in danger of becoming a podcast that moans about the MCU an awful lot.
Yes, but Benjamin, we're also 6 years older than when we started this, and when we started this was already well into the MCU. So there might become a phase where, it's not really for us anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a very good argument, Michael. I think, arguably, two white men doing a podcast isn't the target demographic of Marvel.
Yes, it is. 100% is, Ben. Of course it is. Don't be ridiculous. That is literally the exact reason that those movies exist.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe not anymore.
But that's what I mean. In a modern demographic, it's not for us.
Maybe. Or maybe they don't know. Maybe they're...
Oh.
Go on.
Or, Michael, something that I'm coming around to, which I really detest, is that you might be right, and what they've done is they've shifted away from actual storytelling to politicking.
Yeah. I don't think across the board, but yes, a little bit.
There's a lot of pandering going on, Michael, and it's very interesting. And I use that very carefully, because it's almost at this point representation for representation's sake.
Oh, Benjamin. Oh, you see, that's much worse than anything I've ever said.
I know, we're teetering. I know, this is tricky. So what I mean by that is, and maybe representation is the wrong word, Michael, but they're almost shoving in, it's like, remember when we started watching Stranger Things and we went, oh, this is just nostalgia porn.
Yes, yeah.
So the aim is to get as many references to the 80s in there as possible, and that becomes your pop culture coinage.
Mm-hmm.
Or your pop culture currency, right?
Yes.
And certain things do that very well, where they reference nostalgia and we go, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, smoking in McDonald's.
Then, inevitably, as that continues, we get bloat, because people latch onto the idea and it's like, oh, people want the 80s, and they pump it in and they're like, why did nobody like that? It's like, because you overdid it.
Yeah.
You overdid it.
Also,
you gave us too much.
Also, it's only natural that things which become good and popular are well written. And then,
yes,
as you get more and more people writing them, you're inevitably going to have people going, well, I'm not very good at writing, but I know what's popular.
And I think that's the secret. So I think where we had nostalgia kind of, nostalgia focused storytelling maybe 5 years ago, we've now entered into politics currency, or soundbite currency, or something like this, where you're just throwing out ideologies and hoping to resonate with the right amount of people, if that makes sense.
Enough people to make money, Ben, because at the end of the day they are massive corporations who...
But that's the secret, isn't it? Like, I mean, we can sit here all day and be like, why don't they care? They do care. They just care about money.
Yeah, that's my secret, Cap. I always want money.
I always want money. Exactly.
Anyway, look, Benjamin, it's not a good sign, because when things like that happened, the last time something which you wanted to be a movie became a TV series, and then a movie again, and then a TV series, it was the beautiful and dreaded Inhumans. So, doesn't fill me with confidence. Benjamin, it's one of the spookiest things that's happening in Spooktober, except for all of the various spooky anthologies on Netflix.
Yes, Michael. So we're getting two, I think one is an anthology and one is a series, just a regular run-of-the-mill series, but it looks like, we're not really sure, Michael. The first one we're going to take a look at today is The Midnight Club.
Oh, The Midnight Club. What's going on at midnight?
They're having a club, apparently. So the Midnight Club is an interesting one, Michael. This book was first published in 1994.
Right.
It's based on a book by a young man called Christopher Pike. Christopher Pike wrote this book, yes.
Is that not the captain from Star Trek?
No, that's something else, Pike, I think. Isn't it?
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. Anyway, tell us more about the Midnight Club.
So the Midnight Club, Michael. Rotterdam Home is where it's set. A hospice where teenagers with terminal illnesses went to die.
Oh, very exciting.
Jesus Christ, okay?
Yes, my child?
5 young men and women who met at midnight and told stories of intrigue and horror. One night they made a pact that the first of them to die would make every effort to contact the others.
Oh, it's
from beyond the grave.
Coming back as some sort of gust.
Yeah, so I think we probably got hints of anthology here, Michael. We got the trailer for it 2 weeks ago and we didn't talk about it, Michael.
Because we were not spooked enough. It was too early.
Because it's not Spooktember.
It's not Spooktember, Ben, even though that's better.
Spooktember is arguably slightly better, but it's bloody Spooktober, and now we're here, Michael. Michael, it stars a young Irish woman. There's an Irish woman's sposs.
Irish woman's a sposs, Ben. As you know, we love supporting the old Irish people when they're on fiction.
Yeah, Ruth Cobb is in there, so she was a little TikTok star in the early days of the pandemic, and she got hired on to do bloody
Benjamin,
Midnight Club.
I'm going to need you to
Netflix.
get all the way up out of here.
Yeah,
No
there
way.
You go. There you go.
A young one off of TikTok is on a Mike Flanagan show.
Yeah, it's on a Mike Flanagan show, Michael. I tell you what, it looks bloody unnerving as a show, doesn't it? It looks very creepy, very spooky.
Benjamin, I think I read something where Mike Flanagan said there were some lessons learned from Midnight Mass, and this is going to be a little bit less drama-y and a little bit more frightening.
I think Midnight Mass is very good. No, did people not like Midnight Mass?
Midnight Mass was very, very good. Was it a very good horror? I don't know.
Oh,
As a horror, it was easily the least frightening of any of the Mike Flanagan shows.
Mike Flanagan's fucking great though, isn't he? He makes good stuff.
He's doing good stuff so far, Benjamin, I have to say. I thoroughly enjoyed There's a Ghost in My House, and there's even more ghosts in this English house.
Oh, the English house has even more ghosts.
There's even more ghosts in it. And I very much enjoyed Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass was actually my first one, because I'd somehow avoided the Mike Flanagan parade.
I don't know how you avoided the Mike Flanagan hype train, Michael.
I don't know how I avoided it, Ben. Horror, for whatever reason, despite being quite a big horror fan, I watched, you know what I did, Benjamin? Here's a little story for you. I watched Event Horizon again the other night.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, I need a bit of a spooky spaceship. But anyway, that's apropos.
That's Sam Neill?
That's the one with Sam Neill in it, Ben, where he's going, I don't have any more eyes.
Very spooky.
But yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but I don't think horror gets advertised to me.
Why do you think that is, Michael? Is it because you're a gentle soul deep down?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's like I don't know how the Netflix algorithm works. Maybe it's because I share an account with my lady friend, and it would rather advertise Bridgerton season 2 to me than the latest horror film.
Perhaps that might be.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, very good. You've done a ye old timey, Benjamin.
Yes.
Look, I'll give it a watch. When is it coming out? It's coming out next week or the week after?
Coming out next week or the week after, Michael. Which, in my opinion,
yes,
is a little bit early for a spooky horror.
Benjamin, would you take a look at the old Netflix there for a second? And one of the things you'll see is Hocus Pocus 2.
It's Disney Plus, Michael, but yes.
Yeah, I just call anything on the computer Netflix, Ben.
That was released on the 29th of September, Michael.
That's not even October, Ben. That's Spooktember.
It's a bloody lie, Michael.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it either, Ben. It is far too early in the spooky season to be watching Hocus Pocus 2.
Do you know what I also haven't seen, though?
Go on.
Is any kind of review or rave or tweets. I haven't seen anything about it, Michael.
You know what? You're right. I haven't seen anything either. I haven't seen anyone review it, either positively or negatively.
And that's weird to me. Where are the reviews, Michael?
Where are the reviews? Where's the hype?
Where's the hype train?
Maybe the power of nostalgia, Ben, isn't quite as strong as we think it is.
Perhaps, Michael, the curse of nostalgia has been lifted.
Very good. Maybe
Yes.
we're only going to get new stuff from now on.
Oh, that'd be unique and never going to happen.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah.
there's not that many ideas.
But anyway, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Come here to me.
What is it? What
Come
are you
here to
talking
me.
about? What is it? What do you want to talk about?
Midnight Club looks pretty damn spooky. But, Michael, a trailer dropped yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's bloody Guillermo del Toro, Michael.
Oh, GDT.
GDT, the man who's famous, Michael, for a physical effect, for a creepy physical monster.
You're thinking of John Carpenter.
I'm thinking of John Carpenter, but also Guillermo del Toro, who's very famous for that as well.
Yeah.
He likes a practical effect. But come here to me.
Yes.
He's only going to drop the trailer for Cabinet of Curiosities in full, Michael.
I don't know what that is. Please tell me what it is. I'm starting to panic.
So, Cabinet of Curiosities, Michael, is very much an anthology series. So, Midnight Club has touches of anthology about it.
Right.
Cabinet of Curiosities is a series of unique little episodes, Michael. And we've gotten all the titles for them now, so we know how they're going.
Benjamin, I'm just going to have to take issue with the way you're pronouncing cabinet.
Cabinet,
exactly. That's much better.
Cabinet.
That's much better.
Is that better?
That's much better.
So, tis a Cabinet of Curiosities.
Much better now, indeed, altogether.
Right. So when we watch Cabinet of Curiosities,
that's very good.
We're going to get a few different things. So, Michael, apparently, it's dropping episode by episode from the 25th up to the 28th. We're getting 2 episodes a day.
That's much better.
It's good, isn't it? It's a good little drip feed.
That's the way to give me a spook.
Just before Halloween, yeah.
What's that on?
Yeah.
Is that Netflix?
That's on Netflix.
Oh, Netflix is having a bit of a resurgence for Halloween, aren't they? Between this and that.
They're giving it a damn good try, Michael. And, Michael, what an unnerving bloody trailer.
Oh, go on.
There looks to be some Lovecraftian horror, some psychological horror, some timey-wimey horror.
Oh, is anyone on a spaceship?
Oh, I'd say there's probably a spaceship in there somewhere.
Oh, that sounds like you don't know and you're just trying to placate me.
I am. It's true. I don't know, and I am just trying to placate you. But come here to me, Michael. When do you hear the cast of some of these, right?
Benjamin, I'd love to hear the cast. Who's in it?
We're getting Lot 36 is one of the episodes. That's one of the first episodes we're going to get. Bloody Tim Blake Nelson is in there.
The leader, Ben.
Yes, the leader, Michael, who's apparently coming back.
He's coming back. He was also in that show Chaos about spies for one season.
Chaos about spies for one season.
Yeah.
Then we have another one called Graveyard Rats, Michael.
Oh, what's that about rats, most likely?
It's about rats.
Yeah.
Yes. And
who's up in that one?
Well, we don't have the full cast for that one, unfortunately, Michael. But David Hewlett is one of the people in it.
I know that name. Who's that?
David Hewlett, the man off the bloody Stargates. He's Dr. Rodney McKay in Stargate.
Dr. Rodney McKay in Stargate. Yeah. Very good. He's from Canada.
So he's in there. Then we get bloody The Outside, Michael, on the 26th of October. And that's got Dan Stevens and Kate McCucci.
Oh, they're 2 good actors.
And noted Freaks and Geeks star Martin Starr.
Oh, so Dan Stevens is going to be with some weird looking fellas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the whole point is that Dan Stevens is very good looking in turn.
He's a handsome fella.
Then we're getting The Autopsy, Michael, on October 26th. And that's got F. Murray Abraham in it, Michael.
Oh, very good.
Very famous. F. Murray Abraham. Luke Roberts, who I think you probably know.
It doesn't ring a bell.
All right.
Why would I know him? Is he from Tala?
Yeah, he lives next to you there.
Is that what you're saying?
He owns Garth Ennis the cat.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, that's
him. Get him spayed. Jesus Christ.
Get him spayed. He's out there fucking riding on the windows.
He's pissing on my rhododendrons every fucking day.
Rhododendrons. Get out of here. And then, Michael...
Benjamin, who is he? Who is the other fella?
Oh, Luke Roberts was in Black Sails. He was in Holby City, Michael.
Oh, one of my favourites, yeah.
One of your favourites.
Yeah, I love Holby City.
And he was in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But only for one episode. He was Arthur Dane. Sir Arthur Dane.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we had all those. But Michael, where it gets real creepy is they've only gone and gotten Crispin Glover.
Oh, well, Crispy Gloves himself.
Yeah, old Crispy Gloves. And he's going to be in Pickman's Model with Ben Barnes. Not handsome Englishman, Ben Barnes.
Ben Barnes from should have been a superstar but never really caught on.
That'll be very confusing for me, Michael, because I often have face blindness when it comes to Dan Stevens and Rupert Barnes and Ben Barnes.
Yeah,
I can't distinguish between the pair of them.
Yeah, your audio just changed there for some reason.
Oh, good. That's always good, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's always good. Well, we'll hope for consistency. We'll pray for consistency there, Michael. Then we're getting Rupert Grint, him off the Hogwarts.
Oh, he was off Hogwarts. He's the ugly ginger fella.
He's going to be in Dreams in the Witch House.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds very spooky, Michael. Then we have Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead.
Michael. Oh, he's from The Walking Dead. He's not even really American.
He's going to be in The Bloody Murmuring, is what it's called. Not The Bloody Murmuring, just The Murmuring.
Just The Murmuring. I hope he stands outside a door and holds up a sign explaining how much he loves someone.
Me too. And then silently says it so that the husband never realises that both his wife and his best pal would run off together had they the chance.
Yeah. That's not a good
Very
message.
bad.
That's not a good message for
Very
anyone.
bad
Very
message.
lucky Chewie Jafer didn't kill them with a sword.
That's not, yeah, very, very lucky. And then, Michael, most importantly of all, we get a final episode with Robert Weller and Eric Andre.
Who are either of those people?
You know who? Oh, sorry, Peter Weller, Michael. I'm an idiot. Peter Weller. Him off the RoboCop.
He's RoboCop. Yeah, I know who Peter Weller is. Yeah, I don't
So
know.
that's the Cabinet of Curiosities, Michael. It's very spooky looking.
Is it very spooky and frightening?
There's 1940s looking horrors. There's M.R. James Victorian style horrors. There's cosmic horrors by the looks of things. Oh.
Benjamin, speaking of Halloween horror and upcoming things, our man on the inside, Benjamin, who I'm not saying is or isn't real, has come back and said apparently early reactions to Werewolf by Night, incredible.
Oh, good.
The best
We'd
thing,
like that, wouldn't we?
The best thing they've ever done.
The best thing they've ever done.
Yeah. Now,
Michael.
I don't know who saw it. Maybe our werewolf saw it. It's like,
Yeah.
finally, a bit of werewolf representation. Finally, a bit of
I've always wanted to be
lycanthropy up on
pandered to.
screen. And he was like, this is
Finally,
amazing.
a realistic depiction of my struggle.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't relate to any of the other characters because they weren't werewolves.
Because they notably weren't
But
werewolves.
now we're fucking flying.
That'll be interesting, Michael. We're going to have to do a little Spookaween watch. We're going to have to do a little marathon. Strap
Ben,
in
look,
and
it's gonna
Midnight
be-
Club
we're
and
gonna be-
Cabinet of Curiosities.
We're going to be fucking balls deep in spooky shit for the next couple of days.
Should get that on a t-shirt.
Balls
I love being
deep in
balls
spooky
deep in
shit.
spooky shit.
Welcome to us Spooktober, Benjamin. It's going to be non-stop. I'm also very excited, Benjamin, to see a new movie, which
Oh, what's the new movie?
we haven't put on the list, Benjamin, but it's the new movie Smile.
Michael, we didn't put that on the list. You can't bring up things that come on the list.
I didn't put it
Smile
on the list.
looks
You
to
didn't
be
put it on the list.
horrific.
What's going on in that? Tell me, because I haven't even seen the trailer. I'm just
Smile
excited
is about a
it.
weird curse by the looks of things, Michael.
It's what?
It's about a weird curse.
Oh yeah.
So apparently what happens is the curse finds you, and then everyone around you begins to kind of demonstrate this manic smile, Michael. But it's unclear to us whether or not it's actually affecting reality, which I don't think it is. I think it's just affecting the person who has the curse. And then the people in their life adopt this ghastly smile, Michael.
Ooh.
And you slowly go mad. So it's got a little touch of that. Now, I've only seen the trailer, Michael. Michael, you always have that smile on your face. That's not unnerving to me at all. That's your I'm excited about a movie face.
I can't hold it and talk.
No, it's very painful. Michael's done with CGI in the trailer, so you
is
can
it
just
very
let it go
lazy?
if you want. And Michael, it's very interesting looking. I have to admit, they got me real good, Michael, with the jump scare of the sentry at the end of the trailer. So what they do is they're a big fan, Michael, as you might guess, from someone who looks normal 1 minute and then has a big spooky face on them. There's a lot of jump scares in the trailer, as you might have guessed. As you might have guessed. Okay, it's like, is it normal? Is it spooky? Oh, it's spooky. But Michael, at the end, they got me damn good, because what happens is a woman comes out to a car to speak to the main character who's suffering from the smile curse.
Yes.
And she says, I won't look. And the woman's kind of psyching herself up. And the woman's walking up to the car normally, because it's normal for her. And then all of a sudden, Michael, it's brilliant. I thought she was going to lean down and she'd have a spooky face. No, her head detaches and swings as if it's been snapped.
Oh, gross.
And it's upside down and very spooky. Horrific, Michael.
Gross, I don't like it.
Horrific. So yeah, we got the trailer for that, Michael. And I tell you what, there was a bit of marketing genius during the week. Did you see this?
Go on.
Michael, this week a trailer dropped on YouTube called Justin Long's new movie.
Oh yeah, Justin Long's new movie.
Justin Long's new movie. Did you see it?
I didn't see it. Is he a walrus or something?
Very clever, Michael. So what happens is we get Justin Long's new movie, and then it's set very upbeat, Michael. Okay, very upbeat. Guy having the time of his life,
Justin Long,
right,
the
in a
actor
car.
Justin Long.
On the highway, Justin Long. Yeah, Justin Long. And Michael, then it begins to give you the credits of who's produced this movie, from the guys who brought you the Lego movie, and you go, oh god, it's going to be a little bit of a comedy romp.
Oh, very good. Lord and
a little bit of
Miller.
a comedy romp. From the guys who brought you bloody Alvin and the Chipmunks, and you go, oh, very good. Probably going to be maybe a kids film, a little bit of a romp, some jokes for the adults, some fun times for the kids, and you're like, okay, Justin Long's in a new movie, trying to reboot the career after Tusk.
Tusk, yeah, and
Michael. And you say to yourself, oh, great, cool, I'm going to enjoy this. And then we find out, Michael, that poor old Justin Long isn't having a great time.
Oh, no. The actor Justin
And then
Long.
we notice, Michael, that his name is Aiden in this film. We go, hang on a minute, I thought this was going to be a kind of a Nicolas Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Fame kind of film.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the actor playing the actor. It isn't, Michael. And he has to go to Detroit, Michael, to liquidate some property. And then, Michael, he goes into the house that he owns and he rings his realtor and says, is somebody living here? And the realtor is very cagey, Michael, and she says, no, there's nobody in the house at the moment. No, bye. And she hangs up the phone, Michael.
Benjamin, I'm spooked as shit just from this description.
And Michael, he hears something in the basement.
Uh-oh.
Michael.
What is it?
And then he walks to the basement and he looks into the pitch black. And then all of a sudden the next one says, from the guys that brought you it.
Oh, no.
And then we hear a bloody thud, thud, thud as something sprints up the stairs towards him. Michael, terrifying shit.
Very exciting.
And this is for the new film Barbarian. And there was a little bit of guerrilla marketing for the new horror film Barbarian.
Oh, so it's not actually called Justin Long's new film?
No, but they dropped it as that on YouTube. Very good.
Very good and very clever. What's Barbarian then?
Barbarian is a little horror film. It's kind of it's a humans are the most terrifying kind of thing vibe. I'm guessing. I can't go see it, Michael. I'll wet myself.
Yes, because you're incontinence. We can get you some incontinence pads.
No, it's the horror, Michael.
Yeah. But I mean, it'll still sop it up. We can get you some Benalady.
Benalady will sort me out. But Michael, it's a very classic looking thing. So a young woman discovers the rental home she booked is already occupied by a stranger. Against her better judgment, she decides to spend the night, but soon discovers there's a lot more to fear than just an unexpected house guest.
Uh-oh. Except this time it's not a young woman, it's the actor Justin Long.
In the first instance, it was the actor Justin Long. So I think the actor Justin gets 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, Michael.
Is this a remake, Ben, or is this new?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm afraid I don't have that available to me.
That's very exciting stuff, and look, Ben, I love Spooktober.
It has a very classic horror poster, Michael. Look at that.
Just give me a look at it.
Look at that film.
Oh my god. Oh, so is Justin Long going to get killed in the beginning? Like,
I think it's probably a Justin Long cameo.
They've killed Justin Long off They've taken the Scream twist of having what was her name again? Drew Barrymore. Prominent.
Getting rid of her in the first 5 minutes.
Getting rid of her in the first 5 minutes by getting rid of Justin Long in the trailer.
It's just all about efficiency in Hollywood these days.
Meta as shit, Benjamin. I love it.
So yeah, that's what we got. It looks scary as fuck, Michael. To be honest, I'm very uncomfortable with it. There's nothing I hate more, Michael, than humans are the real monsters.
Oh, except monsters are the real monsters. Sometimes that's bad. Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
Yeah, Michael. That shit's horrific.
I don't have any more eyes. I swear.
The good news is, Michael, you've watched that very timely for next week's episode, where we're going to be talking about the best modern kind of Lovecraftian adaptations.
Oh, I better shut up then about that.
Yeah, stop bringing up Event Horizon.
Stop bringing up Event Horizon. Ben, I watched Event Horizon and I really like it. It's one of my favourites.
It's one of your favourites.
Anyway,
eyes. Michael, come here to me. I can't even remember what's next on that list.
I have a list here, Ben, and I'll summon it forth for us, and we'll see what's going on.
This is great.
Oh yeah, no, great podcasting. Benjamin, speaking of modern abominations, have you seen the TV show She-Hulk?
So Michael, we got episode 6 of She-Hulk this week. And 7?
I think it was 7.
That was a very Matt Berry-esque questioning of my logic.
Thank you very much.
Michael, I'm very conflicted on this week's episode.
Me too.
Yeah, because nothing happened.
Well, one thing happened, but it wasn't as shocking as the writers thought it was.
So it turns out Josh, the man who we knew was a plant from the very beginning, was a dickbag.
Oh yeah, you thought he was an actual plant though. You were like, he's going to be some sort of arboreal man.
Yeah, but he was... Okay, so I got that wrong.
You got that wrong.
He's
a different type of plant.
He was a different type of plant, Michael. And we kind of guessed that, right? We knew that from the second it happened. Josh wasn't... He's too perfect, Michael. And if there's any nice men in the She-Hulk universe, get them out of there.
Yeah, nice men are probably just more handsome incels.
And that's exactly what it seems to be.
Which, Ben, funnily enough, was actually one of the names we considered for this podcast.
Yeah. More handsome incels. That would have been a great name for this podcast.
Yeah, but with a question mark.
Yeah, that would have been a great name for this, but we should have rebranded that.
Yeah,
that
Ben. I don't know if incels was a popular term when we started this podcast, so it might not have flown.
I can't remember. But Michael, what we get in this is a very interesting look at men in general.
Men in general, yeah. Go on.
Arguably, Jennifer Walters is more supported by the group of men that we meet in this episode than she has been by any other character in the entire show.
I mean, definitely the best person. The best person in this series is Emil Blonsky.
Emil Blonsky is a good man.
He's the best person in it. He just wants to help people, and he seems to be doing it.
We're probably going to get that rug pulled out from under us towards the end there.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Because
I don't. I kind of like Emil Blonsky, weird therapist and abomination.
I hope we do, to be honest. Because as much as the Josh surprise wasn't a surprise,
the most telegraphed thing in
one of the most
cinematic
telegraphed
history.
But we have forgotten. One of the things we've forgotten with this show is sometimes you just have to trust the writers and let's see the whole thing before we judge it so harshly on bad writing. Something that jumps out to me, Ben, is Rings of Power. Have you been watching Rings of Power?
I haven't. I've avoided it on the principle of avoiding Irish racism.
Right. Oh, yeah, good. And right and justifiable reason not to watch it. But one of people's biggest complaints about it is that Galadriel is an absolute dick bag. She's an absolute bag of dicks.
Right, go on, explain.
She's proud, arrogant, demanding, obnoxious, difficult, everything. She's just terrible. She's a terrible person.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, Tolkien's original writing, kind of maybe implies that she was a bit like that in her youth.
As people are wont to be, Michael. The arrogance of youth.
People are. But because, again, it goes back to the arguments about troll baiting and fan baiting and what is the point of making things. People have assumed that this is bad writing and that Galadriel is supposed to be a girl boss. And we're supposed to really dislike we're supposed to really like these things about her. Because she's, she's a girl getting things done.
I see.
My feeling is that we're not supposed to like it. We actually are supposed to think she's a bit of a dick. Is she going to get her comeuppance?
I mean, there was such a thing back in the day, Michael, as a real cathartic kind of writing process where you'd watch the Wheel of Fortune turn.
Yeah.
So if you started on top, you'd end up at the bottom at some point, and then you'd have to fight your way back to the top. That's a traditional. It's what we in the biz call an arc.
But exactly. But reactions to Rings of Power are all kind of assuming this is where she's going to start and where she's going to finish. Now, you could argue, and you may be right or wrong on it, but you could argue modern media has probably given people that worry.
Absolutely. I think...
But, anyway, Ben, sorry, look, I know you're going to say something deeply interesting about that, but I'm going to cut you short there, because we're not talking about Rings of Power. Because my point about Rings of Power is, we don't fucking know. We won't know until this series ends if Galadriel's going to have some sort of humbling or revelation that changes her character and gives her an arc. Or is the character we're being presented with, this obnoxious #girl boss,
a big bag of dicks.
Is she just a big bag of dicks that we're supposed to be cheering for? And we don't know that. We won't know that until the season is over.
And we won't know that with She-Hulk either, Michael.
I'm bringing that back to She-Hulk. That was my point about She-Hulk. We've forgotten to trust the writers and let the story play out before complaining about characters. And I don't mean we as in you and I mean we as in mass amateur criticism.
Well, I think we'd be fairly justified in saying we here, Michael. There have been some episodes where we've been just like, no,
don't like it. Jennifer's terrible. Jennifer is terrible.
Jennifer is terrible. Jennifer is arguably very well played.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting character. Terrible person. If anything, something that I thought was very, very interesting, Michael, is...
Go on.
It almost seems at this point in the She-Hulk film that it's female problems written by a man. Does that make sense?
I thought... well, maybe in a way, because I thought the whole ghosting thing was quite good and quite well done.
Yeah, I think it's a very... I think this episode is interesting in that nothing happened again. So much as what we've come to expect from a Disney TV show or something like that.
Yeah, go on.
But what we also got was a very realistic depiction of someone being like, you gonna text me? You gonna...
Yeah, I thought that was great. And I thought Tatiana Maslany really carried it. And the way she was checking
Tatiana Maslany nails this character. What she has been given, she does very well.
Yeah, it's very good. She's really good. And, you know, I think it should have been obvious. It should have been obvious to everyone because that Josh guy was so handsome and Tatiana Maslany is such a gross little troll lady. So it should have been...
Not in reality.
Yeah. No, but yes, that's what the story we're being told.
For the purposes of this... I think that's one of the most unbelievable things about the show. They keep being like, no one wants Jennifer Walters. And like, what? Are you blind?
Yeah, no, she's a gross little troll lady. She's hideous.
She's a very successful female lawyer. She's
no, she's hideous, Ben. She's gross and horrible, and
it's such a weird conceit to be like, God, no one will want to be with me, and she's like, you're perfectly attractive, Tatiana Maslany. What are you talking about?
Gross and horrible little goblin, more goblin than woman in many ways. Benjamin.
Terrible.
But yeah, a couple of the characters there. Another thing about it, Ben, and I think this is the thing that is annoying people, is it's just introducing superpowered people left, right, and centre.
But that kind of makes sense if you're a comic book fan, because when you get down to brass tacks, Michael, on the economy of scale on a bloody superhero universe, fucking disastrous.
Go on.
There's people getting superpowers left, right, and centre, and some of them are going to be. Some of them are going to be superheroes. Some of them aren't going to want their superpowers. Some of them are going to be bloody influencers. And it's a very realistic look at what you would get. Like, Titania is nothing like her comic book counterpart.
No, she's not. In the comic book, she's just a very strong criminal lady.
Yeah, but she's a very irritating character, and she's supposed to be. She's written in that style. But it's very interesting, Michael, to see... you know, what an influencer who was chasing clout all the time would do if they had superpowers.
Yeah.
And she'd be a dickbag.
An absolute dickbag. Benjamin, all I really want is for this to be over so that we can judge it fairly.
One of the things that I think is very unfair, Michael, and one of the things that I saw is we got a clip of Charlie Cox discussing his time on the show.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Recently, and he mentioned that, you know, there was a lot more opportunity for levity in this series than there was in the original Daredevil.
Yeah.
And the comments, Michael, I've been in a cesspool again. I'm sorry, I've been swimming around the cesspool. But this really resonates with me based on what you've said. So I'm having a nice reaction to what you've said.
Okay, good. Ben reacts to
and
your segment.
Everyone is like, that man looks like he's come back from the war. You know, that man looks like he's really had to struggle through something. And I was like, you don't know that. You don't, like...
He could be acting.
There was nothing in the thing that makes it look like he was having a difficult time discussing the show. He was discussing the very strong differences between She-Hulk's tone and the Netflix Daredevil tone. And the Netflix Daredevil tone, occasionally, you're already been blinded by the light there.
The sun is in my eyes, Ben. It's so early.
So, you know, arguably, Michael, what we could say is, you know, obviously there's a difference in tone between Netflix's Daredevil and She-Hulk. Massive leap. But the internet was just like, oh, it's going to be awful. That poor man's been through so much. And I'm like, no, he hasn't. He's collected a paycheck as a jobbing actor.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Probably not a great paycheck, too.
Yeah,
if
it was
Disney
probably a little cameo. He's trying to get his next Disney movie.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do.
Do me a Daredevil movie. Bring back my friend Foggy Nelson.
Get him in there.
Apparently he's back.
Where's bloody Karen Page?
Karen Page back. She's too busy doing a Dungeons and Dragons, Ben.
Dragons.
She doesn't have any time. She's too busy doing Dungeons and Dragons. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, although She-Hulk people are saying that it's not doing very well in the ratings, it has managed to beat the latest Star Wars series, which is ironic considering I think it's the best Star Wars series that Star Wars has ever done.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. Andor is bloody great.
Benjamin,
so far.
I sent you a little text.
Yes.
I sent you a text the other day and I said, Benjamin, read it out, Ben, because it was, I think...
I'll read it out there. You spin your wheels very, very quickly there.
I was watching it because... Here's a little tidbit for you, Benjamin. Rogue One is my favourite Star Wars film.
Because it's the best.
Because it's probably the best one.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the Star Wars universe and don't give a flying shite about the Moni Skywalkers.
Yeah, nobody does, Michael. Chosen One storylines are so last year.
Lots of people do, Ben.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, many people do. But,
Oh, okay, fuck them.
as you know, no great Star Wars fan am I.
Are we?
Are either of us. But Rogue One is my favourite, Benjamin, because it's a real kind of World War II style gross people on a mission film. And the last thing I thought I wanted from it was, what is the history of all these people who are going to die in this big explosion at the end?
Go on.
And I said to myself, the last thing I want to watch is 5 years of getting the backstory of every single thing that happened to every single person leading up to Rogue One. So Disney said, actually, that's a fair enough point. We'll just do 2 seasons.
Michael, where did you send me this message?
I sent it to you. I sent you a text message, Benjamin.
Yes, but you sent it to a group or did you send it to me?
Benjamin, that's not good podcasting. Just find it.
I'm trying to find it.
Find it. I said Blen. Sometimes I misspell your name as Blen.
No, you do it on purpose to belittle me, Michael.
Yeah. I don't know if it would be counted.
Yeah, so it's here in Sean Bjork.
Yeah. Blen. I'll do it in my voice, Ben. I think it'll have more authenticity. Blen, have you watched any of Andor? It's all grimy and grubby and everyone is mysterious and miserable. I think you'll like it.
And Michael, you were right.
I was, wasn't I?
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. Michael, it's chiseled out of Blade Runner.
Yes, very much so.
It's the first time. It's the first time we've ever gotten a morally ambiguous character out of Star Wars.
Well, Han Solo.
Han Solo was not morally. Han Solo is the 1950s cowboy western version of morally ambiguous. It's like, oh, is he a dickbag? Oh, well, his reputation says he is, but he's never actually done anything all that bad.
He's doing lots of smuggling.
He's doing lots of. But we never see that, Michael.
He shot that Greedo fella.
That Greedo fella tried to shoot him.
No, he didn't.
no, that's going to kick. That's what's going to get us cancelled. But come here to me. It's very interesting. Like, so this character, Michael, I'm not sure he's a good guy.
No, he's not. He's a real bad egg.
Cassian Andor's a piece of shit, but
he's a real bad egg.
Now I'm only 2 episodes in, Michael.
Yeah.
So, pinch of salt here, and we have to wait and see the whole thing, as we've discussed with you. But Cassian Andor, he manipulates people. He borrows money all the time. Doesn't pay it back by the looks of things.
Doesn't pay it back.
He killed lads.
Yeah, 2 lads. Yeah.
One of them execution style. So Disney didn't even give him the kind of crash mat of, he did it by mistake.
Yeah, the first one was a little bit by mistake, but the second one was like, I better kill this fella or else he'll tell.
The second one was like, well, I'm gonna have to sort this out. Yeah. And Michael, it makes for a great story.
Yeah, it's the most. I mean, Obi-Wan, Ben, no use. Get out of here.
I never finished it. I was very bored by episode 3.
It was the Moon Knight of Star Wars.
Ugh.
But this is great so far. This is really, really good so far. It's what I always kind of wanted from a Star Wars, which was just tell us a side story. The only thing I don't like about it, my only gripe with the whole thing, is that
it has women in it.
It has the lady. It has Michael Morbius's wife.
I don't know who that is.
Dr. Morbius. The lady, the mechanic lady.
Oh yeah, Bix.
Bix, yeah. Weta Bix, yeah.
Yeah.
It has.
You don't like her?
No, I do like her. Yeah, she was the love interest in Dr. Morbius.
I didn't know that, Michael. Yeah. I didn't see Morbius.
She was the love interest in Dr. Morbius. I thought it was.
I was
Isaac
waiting
Gonzalez.
for it to be brought back in cinemas to go and watch it again.
Very good. You haven't seen Dr. Morbius. That's very interesting. Anyway, Ben, no, that's not what I didn't like. What I didn't like is that it's a prequel. If this was just a series and there were new characters, I'd be going, yes, give me some more of this. Give me some of this Blade Runner. Do you want some Blade Runner up in your Star Wars? Because if you want some Blade Runner up in your Star Wars, we've got it for you.
And they do a good job.
Yeah,
they do a damn good job.
If only it wasn't a prequel. That's the only thing that bothers me.
They can't do it, Michael. They just can't do it.
Just do a thing. Do a new... I mean, The Mandalorian...
The Mandalorian has even lost its teeth to a certain degree, Michael. There's only so long the cool kind of stranger from outside the town vibe works, and even that's very clean, Michael.
Yeah, it's very clean. Yeah, this is the first grubby thing.
We were promised a lot in the first episode of The Mandalorian. I was reflecting on this recently for no reason whatsoever, Michael.
Because you have a podcast, a weekly pop culture podcast.
Oh, yes, that's true. We were promised so much in episode 1 of The Mandalorian, way back in season 1, where he's a man who clearly does whatever the job takes and doesn't get moved at all.
Yeah, no, that was lies.
But that was immediately changed from the immediate introduction of the child. The child becomes the top priority from start to finish. And there's never really any conflict between the Mandalorian's, own beliefs of being merciless and being remorseless and and then having to push past that. He just instantly becomes a better person by the presence of Baby Yoda.
Because there's a little Baby Yoda. Benjamin, I actually don't mind that. You could argue that's an arc.
Okay, go on.
What I thought where The Mandalorian lost me was, here's Boba Fett, here's Luke Skywalker, here's Bo-Katan, here's... It's like, I don't care about any of these people. I thought it was just a cool story about The Mandalorian, but it's not.
But it's not, and now it's all complicated.
It's a big Star Wars.
Oh, it's a big bloody war in the stars.
Yeah, it's a big Star Wars. It was a prequel the whole flipping time.
They got me.
So anyway, yeah, Andor is great though, so far.
Yeah, well, more of that, Michael.
Yeah, send us more.
Yeah, do you know what would be grim and gritty, Michael?
Probably a bloody zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, too fucking right, Chief. Too fucking right. But come here to me.
Go on.
Come here to me.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't think I do very well in a zombie apocalypse, Michael.
Benjamin, I don't know if you have many of the skills you'd need.
I don't think I have any of the skills I need, Michael. Breathing.
Breathing is a good skill.
I don't have that.
Oh, I thought you said breeding. I think you'd be alright.
No. Breathing, Michael.
I thought you said
breathing.
I thought you said breathing.
As in taking an old breath, I don't have that. I don't do that very often. But once every 3 minutes. Not great.
Yeah, very good.
Very painful. I burn in the sun quite easily.
No, that's vampires. You're thinking of vampires again.
Oh, sorry. I made a mistake. Yeah. Sorry. Never mind. I'll probably do alright then.
Yeah, you'd be fine. Yeah.
So I'll probably be okay.
Yeah, you'd be alright.
Probably be okay.
Yeah. Where are you going with this, though?
Michael, I was thinking there the other day, we've seen 1,000 lists, Michael, that are like, which one would be the most easy to survive in? Which zombie apocalypse would be the most easy to survive in? But Michael, I got thinking, which one would you thrive in? And the reason I got thinking this, Michael, we got a trailer for Dead Island 2 the other day.
Dead Island 2, what in the hell is that?
'Tis a video game, Michael. 'Tis a video game.
Go on.
That the lads to be playing off the telly there.
Oh yeah. On Twitch.
And they keep their video games in the cabinet of curiosities.
Very good.
And then, right, so it's a video game, Michael, and it's a classic zombie beat 'em up kind of style one, where you make your own weapons, you go out and you take out zombies, and it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek zombie thing because you get like combo scores and stuff like that. But the trailer's very interesting, Michael. It features a man living in an LA mansion, kind of living it up, and he has to do an errand for some bloody whiskey.
Okay.
And Michael, your spaceship has transported itself into the sun.
Very bright.
Right where you are. It's like a scene from Danny Boyle's film Solaris.
Sunshine. You're thinking of Sunshine. You're thinking of Sunshine.
I'm thinking of Danny Boyle's film Sunshine.
With Cillian Murphy, famous Irishman's boss.
Cillian Murphy going mad at the sun.
Yeah, look at that sun, he says. Look at it.
Look at that sun there, would you? But yeah, anyway, Michael, he goes out and he has to do an errand to get some stuff, but he's just living up his life, Michael. And he, on his way back, he's waving to his neighbours who are also killing zombies everywhere. It's very entertaining. Michael, where do you think you'd thrive in a zombie universe? What'd be a good one?
One of the easiest zombie universe to live in seems to be the zombie universe of what's it called? The one with Bill Murray.
Bloody
Zombieland.
Oh no, Zombieland.
Because in that, Ben, everyone's just having gas crack.
It's just the bants of the boys.
It seems like if you're anyway remotely aware, they're not going to get you in that.
Yeah.
The zombies in Zombieland are very non-threatening.
What I don't like about the zombies in Zombieland, Michael, is they're inconsistent.
Go on.
Some of them can run.
Yeah.
Some of them can't.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line on that? What have we got?
One of my favourite zombie stories, Benjamin, had an explanation for that. I can't remember what it was. It might have been 28 Days Later, which is a zombie universe you very much don't want to be in.
No, that's arguably the wrong one.
Yeah, because they're fucking angry, and they're coming to get you.
Yeah.
They're not kind of hanging around waiting for you. They're looking for you, and they're going to get you, and they're going to chase you, and they're fast as fuck.
Yeah, they've got rabies, Michael.
They've essentially got rabies. They've got the rage.
Yes.
Not the comic book and vinyl shop from Dublin.
Free advertising there for Rage. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done, lads. It's in the basement, Ben. But no, they've got the virus. But was it that? I don't know if it was that, but there was some show. Oh, Ben, hopefully the listeners can tell me. Usually when I have a moment like this, the listeners will know. There was some show or movie which explained that when you first get the zombie virus, you basically go zombie mad. And you're like, oh, I'm going to kill everyone. So you become super strong and super fast because the zombie's controlling your brain and doesn't care if it's causing injuries. So you can run faster because if you're damaging the muscles, it doesn't matter. Because the brain is just saying, brains, 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 get them brains.
Yeah.
But then, as decay sets in, and as all these injuries accumulate, you end up becoming the more standard shuffly zombie because your Achilles tendon is broken, and it doesn't matter if you have a zombie virus or not, you can't run fast without an Achilles tendon. Do you get it? You see,
I like it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite explanations for the different types of zombies, and I can't remember what it's from, sadly.
That's a shame. I'd like to see more of that. So in 28 Days Later, Michael, they seem to just keep going.
Yes.
They seem to just be relentless as a horde. And they do that awful hoarding thing that I hate, where they're in a massive group and they're just chasing you over a hill. And you don't know how you're going to beat that, Michael.
Just keep running, Ben.
What's that coming over the hill? Oh, bloody fuck. It's a giant heap of bloody zombies.
One of the... Again, one of the series that that really laid into that trope was World War Z. I think the Americans
so you had the big bloody... That was weird, man.
They started making tendrils of giant zombies, Ben.
I was in... So one of the most interesting things about World War Z, and I think this is probably where we would have benefited from reading the book, because apparently the book is phenomenal.
I've read it, yeah.
But have you read it?
Benjamin, I don't want to make a big deal of it, yes, but I have read most of the books.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's quite an achievement in nerddom. Well done.
Yeah.
But one of the things I really liked about World War Z was Brad Pitt puts a couple of magazines in his forearms and he's like, yeah, the human bite's not that big a deal. So, a couple of thick magos and we'll have no bother. And I kind of like that. Yeah. I was really into that as a concept.
Very clever.
But then also zombies can turn into weird giant structures because of what they are. And I was just like,
turn into this big evil finger of zombies.
No, it was bullshit.
Yeah. That's happening in the same universe, is it?
Yes, that's happening in the same universe. Magazines are a good deterrent.
Yeah.
But
the thing about bite strength, though, Ben, and this is, I have a small amount of expertise on this as a former biologist.
Go on. Recovering biologist, but yes.
Recovering biologist.
Recovering biologist.
Yeah. Most mammals, our bodies are self-limiting, so that we don't injure ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole concept of like the superhuman mother, which I don't even believe. I'm not even entirely sure that does happen. But the superhuman.
What if she was a zombie?
No, the superhuman mother whose daughter is trapped under a car and zombies are coming.
Yes, but what if she was a zombie?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the idea of the zombies. If you turn off that self-preservation, if you turn off the feedback loop that our nerves create when we bite something too hard that it might break our teeth. How hard could we bite? Like, how hard physically are the structures capable of biting, even if it would rip the structures apart? So, with humans, if we're biting, first of all, the nerve feedback stops you from going too far. Mm-hmm. Then, like the actual muscles starting to rip, you just physically, your body will not let you do it. But that doesn't mean it would be physically impossible to do it, which I suppose is the conceit of the zombies, of how they can still run when...
Because they're just wearing themselves out.
Yeah, but those reactions are turned off. So if a human were to give one big, huge bite...
give it their all, so to speak.
Give their all. Literally their all. They're all beyond the level that any human could ever imagine doing, really. Because even at the point of, like... life or death, I don't think that humans can do it. But zombies probably could. Could they bite through a couple of magazines? Still probably not. Still probably not. I don't know. We've got really weak jaws.
Well, that's good news, isn't it? So, Michael, ideally, what we're looking for is a zombie virus that has runners initially,
Yeah. On its
but they
feet.
get worn out and then just kind of flop about the place.
Yeah.
That's the dream for the beginning for us.
Well, but that makes it harder to win at the beginning, though. You're more likely
so
to
that's
get killed
the
at the beginning then.
That's the thing, Mike. Because what I've always wanted to do, Michael, right?
Go on.
What I've always wanted to do, if I can get a little boat, get out to Skellig, Michael. But the trick of it is, right?
Yeah.
Getting on the boat.
Right, but the other trick of it is, Ben, there's a reason no one lives on Skellig, Michael.
Because you can't.
Because you'd just fucking die there. You wouldn't
Yeah,
die of
well.
zombies. You'd die of falling off the sea like Peg's son.
Oh, not Peg's. Oh, poor old Peg's son, Michael. Don't bring that up.
He was just picking a bit of
I
heather,
haven't
Ben.
had time to heal.
Off you went. Do you have
I
any
haven't had
idea
time
what
to
I'm
heal.
talking about? You do.
Yeah,
Okay.
the play Peg.
Yeah, the book Peg, yeah. Yeah. Her
Is
son
it not a play? It's a book.
her son was just picking some heather, Ben, and he pulled too
And
hard.
off he went.
And off he fucking went, and he was dead. You can't
No
live on
good.
those islands. They're shite.
They're shite.
Benjamin, I got COVID on the Blaskets.
Yeah, you had a run-in with, I was just about to say, you had a run-in with COVID on the Blaskets.
Horrible stuff.
So just so we're keeping track of this, Michael, we don't want 28 days later. That's worst case scenario.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember in 28 weeks later. Have the zombies degraded to slow zombies?
No, because Robert Carlyle gets bloody chased all over his farm by a big horde of them.
Oh, yeah. He gets traced across a big bridge.
Yeah, a fresh wave, Michael. He barely makes it.
And he's a prick.
And he's a prick. See, this is the thing, Michael. Ethically speaking,
Yeah.
it only works if we have a solid society to be ultra ethical.
Go on.
And then, this is always such an interesting scene because Robert Carlyle in 28 weeks later, absolute prick,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But also smart.
Right. So you're saying you would have abandoned your wife and children to escape for yourself?
But it's not his child. This is the thing that always gets me,
Go on.
right? It's not his child. It's his wife. His wife wants to save the child out of some sense of restoring the family she lost.
And he's like, nah.
But it's not his child.
Right, that's telling us a lot about you, Ben, to be honest.
It does. It
Does,
says a
doesn't it?
lot about me.
It tells you a lot about the divorce settlement.
But Michael, that's where it gets interesting, isn't it? Because Robert Carlyle is a survivor.
Yeah.
And in a zombie apocalypse, that's kind of what you want. But you could also argue that Robert Carlyle is not living his best life, Michael. Because, you know, who's going to like Robert Carlyle?
No one likes him. No one wants anything to do with him.
No one wants anything to do with him because he's a bit of a prick.
But what you're hitting on there, Ben, is often the actual nature of the zombies. Every good zombie thing, the real baddies were us.
Yeah, so that's why I don't want to be in a Walking Dead universe, Michael. Because if you ever meet another human being, they're going to fuck you over.
Also, it's going to be real boring for most of the time with then fits of people dying.
Yeah, but you see, the other big risk, right? Let's say you meet somebody, Michael, you fall in love with them, you have a great life, and they
Okay.
die in their sleep, and then suddenly you wake up being chewed on by a zombie.
Because Walking Dead introduced the concept that everyone has the zombie virus, and
Everyone's a zombie.
whether you get bitten by a zombie or not, you're getting the zombie virus when you die.
Yeah,
I thought that was
The
very
wildfire
interesting.
virus.
That was a nice little twist on the zombie mythos.
but terrifying because you can never live in a community again, Michael. Alpha dies, zombie.
Zombie in the bin.
And gee, you couldn't have old people, so you'd end up reverting to a Logan's Run zombie universe.
You couldn't have old people. Fucking hell. No old people
this is
or
what I
kids
mean.
or wives. I see what you're saying,
But
Ben.
what I'm saying here, Michael, is there's no quality of life to those universes because you're not allowed to form bonds or build communities. Because if you're focused on being a survivor, these are the things you have to take into account. You can't have any old people because old people die in their sleep, and then you've got a zombie on the loose.
Uh-oh.
It was like that awful scene from The Walking Dead. I think it's in season 4 or something. The young fella dies in the shower, and then he's just out and about in the prison.
Oh yeah, and everyone's like, is he
Chomping on
all right?
people.
And he's like, I think he might be a zombie.
I think he might be a bloody zombie. It's
Might be
like,
a bloody-
but he didn't get bit. How did that happen? And it's like, oh no,
Oh, we're all zombies, really.
we're all zombies, really.
In
There's
many
no
ways,
winning.
we're the Walking Dead.
Everybody was, Michael. That was it in the end, really, wasn't it? That was the whole thing. But like, I'm trying to think. So Zombieland was really at the top of our list there, Michael. Are there any other big zombie
Yeah,
universes
you're
we
gonna
do
survive.
okay in?
You're gonna survive in Zombieland. You're gonna be grand.
I'm just going to go and find you. You're going to be my Tallahassee.
Yeah, but look, Benjamin, I think it's one situation where the Americans definitely have the right idea.
Guns.
Because they're going to have a lot more guns than us. What are we going to be killing zombies with? Barbed comments?
stingers.
Yeah, just fucking get Oscar Wilde taking them down a peg.
Can you imagine just quipping his way through his zombie apocalypse?
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're just going to have to stab them with long hose.
Golf clubs, Michael.
Golf clubs.
Golf clubs.
No, golf clubs no use, Ben.
Why not?
Golf club will bend.
Hurls?
Have you ever read How to Survive the Zombie Survival Guide by Max
I
Brooks?
haven't actually.
So that's a great book, and it's really on topic with what we're talking about. And he goes through weapons in that. And
Right.
he comes up at the end of it that the best weapon is the Shaolin shovel.
What is a Shaolin shovel?
The Shaolin shovel is it's a combination of a kind of an axe, a shovel, and a kind of a trench tool.
Very good.
And he comes up with that's probably the best. It has a spike on it, and it has a sharp edge, and you can use it as a tool. But a hurl, Benjamin, an Irish traditional hurl,
Yeah.
you could probably kill a man with a hurl.
Yeah.
One though, then it'll break.
Yeah, you're not going up against a horde like.
Yeah. So any sort of zombie show where they don't take that into consideration always disappoints me.
I think the baseball bat is such a classic zombie bashing tool. But if you look at the Shaun of the Dead universe, I think that's the most realistic depiction. It takes them fucking ages to pummel that barman to death.
Absolutely ages, and they're hitting it with all the wrong things. Again, I think it's better to set your zombie apocalypse in the UK than in America because guns are so rare.
Guns are rare though. You're not gonna run into it in the same level.
Yeah. Very
weird
exciting
stuff, Michael.
Baseball bat though, Ben. Realistically, probably kill 5 or 6 people with a baseball bat before it's going to break.
But the 5 or 6 isn't enough, Michael. You've got a horde in your
That's
hand.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And you're not taking zombies out with a single hit with a baseball bat either.
That's the other myth, right? You see all these lads who've got like the Babe Ruth swing and they're just taking them clean off. That's not how it works.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen the actress Emma Stone?
I have, yeah.
Is Emma Stone ran past me fleeing and took a kind of perfunctory swipe with a baseball bat? It would probably hurt me, a normal man, but I'd just go, ow, Emma Stone. But it kills zombies somehow.
What'd you do that for?
What'd you do
bloody
that
prick?
for, Emma Stone? I thought you were sound. I actually liked The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Got a whack of a baseball bat for it.
Michael, come here to me.
Go on.
Come here to me.
What is it?
We could spend all day doing this.
Oh, yeah,
we do a
okay.
pop culture podcast.
Yeah.
And we love the sound of our own voices. But listeners, what have we missed?
What do the listeners think?
Where do you think you'd have the best quality of life? Would you leave your wife and kids?
Oh, absolutely,
Would you murder the old people in your life?
100%. Everyone would just be like, get rid of them.
What are you going to do? But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a few places you can let us know your horrific opinions on zombie apocalypse survival. We're on the interwebs at www.seomrabeag.com, seomorabeag.com.
It means tiny room in Irish.
Does indeed. You can find us on the interwebs at... Oh no, you can find us on the Instagram at Sure Look, Sure Listen Podcast.
You can. Always up to date with the latest in zombie warnings.
Yep, absolutely. You can find us on Twitter at ListenSure.
Listen, sure.
But the best way to keep up to date on how to survive a zombie apocalypse is to get up on that Discord, baby.
Hop up on it.
Yeah, you can join us in a week's time, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to be taking a look at the best modern Lovecraftian adaptations. And we're not looking primarily at Lovecraftian kind of titles like an El Cthulhu and stuff like that. We're looking at the concept of bloody Lovecraftian horror, weird, creepy, slimy, horror-y stuff from the other world.
Oh, watch out.
And how that's sprinkled into different things.
Feels like we've done that episode before, ladies and gentlemen, but maybe that's part of the horror.
Yes, you have to relive bloody two aging men who can't figure out new content.
Did we talk about this before? I don't remember. Maybe I'm going mad.
The real horror. You can also hear our other podcast this very Wednesday, where we take a look at Fantastic Four Full Circle, which we were supposed to do last Wednesday, but we just didn't.
We forgot. We literally forgot then. The two of us forgot. It was a podcast first.
It wasn't our best work. All right, that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you next week. Watch out for the spooks.